everyone, welcome back to my video. Today I'm going to read Magic Tree House. And do you remember that part 1 we read in tab finish? We read chapter 1 already. Now we'll read chapter 6 to chapter 10, okay? Chapter 6 titled is Dinosaur Valley. Let's get started. Annie, look at this. Jack called. Look what I found! Annie had gone up to the hilltop. She was picking a flower from the magnolia tree. Annie, look! A medallion! Shouted Jack, but Annie wasn't paying attention to Jack. She was staring at something on the other side of the hill. Oh, wow, she said, clutching her magnolia flower. She took off down the hill. Annie, come back! Jack shouted, but Annie had disappeared. Oh, brother, Jack muttered. He stuffed the gold medallion into his jeans pocket. Then Jack heard Annie shriek. Annie, he said. Jack heard another sound as well, a deep, bellowing sound like a tuba. Jack, come here, quick! Annie called. Jack raced up the hill. When he got to the top, he gasped. The valley below was filled with nests, big nests made out of mud. The nests were filled with tiny dinosaurs. Annie was crouching next to one of her nests. Towering over her was a gigantic duck-billed dinosaur. Don't panic, don't move, said Jack. He stepped slowly down the hill toward Annie. The huge dinosaur was waving her arms and making her tuba sounds. Jack stopped. He didn't want to get too close. He knelt on the ground. Okay, move, join me. Slowly, he said. I started to stand up. Don't stand, crawl, said Jack, clutching her flower. And he crawled towards Jack, still bellowing. The duck-billed dinosaur followed her. Annie froze. Keep going, said Jack. Jack said, and he started crawling again. Jack inched farther down the hill until he was just an arm's distance from Annie. He reached out and grabbed her hand. He pulled Annie toward him. Stay down, Jack said, crunching next to her. Bow your head. Pretend to chew. Chew? Said Annie. Yes, said Jack. I read that's what you do if a mean dog comes at you. She's no dog, Jack, said Annie. Just chew, said Jack. Jack and Annie both bowed their heads and pretended to chew. Soon the dinosaur grew white. Jack looked up. I don't think she's mad anymore, he said. You saved me, said Annie. Thanks. You have to use your brain, Annie, said Jack. You can't just go running to a nest of babies. There's always a mother nearby. And he stood up. Annie, don't, said Jack. Too late. Annie held out her magnolia flower to the dinosaur. I'm sorry I made you worry about your babies, she said. The dinosaur moved closer to Annie. She grabbed the flower from her hand. She reached for another. No more, said Annie. The dinosaur let out a sad tuba sound. But there are more flowers up there, Annie said. She pointed to the top of a hill. I'll get you some. Annie hurried up the hill. The dinosaur waddled after her. Jack quickly looked at the dinosaur's babies. Some were crawling out of the nest. Where's the other mothers? Jack wondered. They took out the dinosaur book. He flipped through the pages. He found a picture of duck-billed dinosaurs. He read the caption. The Dinosaurs lived in colonies, while a few mothers' babies set the nests others looked for food. So there were probably more mothers close by looking for food. Hey, Yak! Annie called. Yak looked up. Annie was at the top of a hill, feeding magnolia flowers to the giant Anatosaurus. Guess what? Annie said. She's nice too. Suddenly, the Anatosaurus made her terrible tuba sound. Annie crouched down and started to chew. The dinosaur trudged down the hill. She seemed afraid of something. Yak put the book on top of his back. He hurried to Annie. I wonder why she ran away, said Annie. Who was that? I wonder why she ran away, said Annie. Who was starting to be friends? Yak looked around. What he saw in the distance almost made him faint. An enormous monster was coming across the plain. The monster was walking on two strong legs. It was swinging along, thick tail and dangling two tiny arms. It had a huge head, and its jaws were wide open. Even from far away, Yak could see its long, gleaming teeth. Tyrannosaurus Rex, whispered Yak. Chapter 7. Ready, set, go. Run, Annie, run, cried Yak. Run to the treehouse. Yak and Annie dashed down the hill together. They ran through the tall grass and ferns and past the pteranodon. They scrambled up the rope ladder and tumbled into the treehouse. Annie leaped to the window. It's going away, she said, panting. Yak pushed his glasses into place. He looked out the window with Annie. The Tyrannosaurus was wandering up, but the monster stopped and turned around. Duck, said Yak. The two of them ducked their heads. After a long moment, they peeked out the window again. Coast clear, said Yak. Yay, whispered Annie. We have to get out of here, said Yak. You made a wish before, said Annie. Right, said Yak. He took a deep breath. I wish we could go back to Frog Creek. Nothing happened. I said I wish, started Yak. Wait, said Annie. You were looking at the picture in the dinosaur book, remember? Oh no, I left the book and my pack on the hill, said Yak. I had to go back. Forget it, said Annie. I can't, said Yak. The book doesn't belong to us. Plus my notebook with all my notes in my pack. And okay, said Annie. I'll hurry, said Yak. He climbed quickly down the ladder and leaped to the ground. Yak raced past the pteranodon, through the ferns, through the tall grass, and up the hill. He looked down. His pack was lying on the ground. On top of it was dinosaur book. But now the valley below was filled with Anatosauruses. They were all standing around the nests. Where had they been? Did fear of a Tyrannosaurus send them home? Jack took a deep breath. Ready, steady, set, go, he thought. And now let's go into read chapter 8. A giant shadow that jumped behind the magnolia tree. He heard was beating so fast he could hardly think. He peeked out at the giant monster. The horrible-looking creature was opening and closing its huge jaws. Its teeth were as big as stick knives. Don't panic, thought Jack. Think. He peered down at the valley. Good. The duck-billed dinosaurs were sticking close to the nests. Jack looked back at the Tyrannosaurus. Good. The monster still didn't seem to know he was there. Don't panic. Think. Maybe there's information in the book. He opened the dinosaur book. He found Tyrannosaurus Rex. He read, Tyrannosaurus rex was one of the largest meat-eating land animals of all time. If it were alive today, it could eat a human in one bite. Wait, thought Jack. There was no help at all. Jack tried to think clearly. He couldn't hide on the other side of the hill. The Ankylosaurus might stand it. He couldn't run to the treehouse. The Tyrannosaurus might run faster. Maybe he should just wait for the monster to leave. Jack peeked around the tree. The Tyrannosaurus had wandered closer to the hill. Something caught Jack's eyes. Annie was coming down the rope later. Is she nuts? What is she doing? Jack wondered. Jack watched Annie hop over later. Annie hurried over to the pteranodon. She was talking to him. She was flapping her arms. She pointed at Jack, at the sky, at the treehouse. She's nuts, Jack thought. Go back up in the tree, Jack whispered. Go! Jack heard a roar. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was looking in his direction. Jack hit the ground. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was coming toward the hill. Jack felt the ground shaking. What should I do? Jack wondered. Should I run? Crawl back into Dinosaur Valley? Climb the magnolia tree? Suddenly, a giant shadow covered Jack. He looked up. The pteranodon was gliding overhead. The giant creature sailed toward the top of a hill. He was heading toward Jack. Chapter 9. The Amazing Ride. The pteranodon coasted down the ground. He stared at Jack with his bright, alert eyes. What was Jack supposed to do? Climb on. But I'm too heavy, thought Jack. Jack looked at the Tyrannosaurus. It was starting up the hill. Its giant teeth were flashing in the sunlight. Okay, thought Jack. Don't think, just do it. Jack put his book in his pack. Then he climbed onto the pteranodon's back. He held on tightly. The creature moved forward. He spread his wings and flipped it up the ground. Jack nearly fell off as the chittered this way and that. The pteranodon steadied himself and rose into the sky. Jack looked down. The Tyrannosaurus was staring up at him and chomping the air. The pteranodon glided away. He sailed over the hilltop and out over the valley. He circled above all the duck-billed dinosaurs and all the nests filled with babies. Then the pteranodons soared out over the plain, over the Triceratops, who was grazing in the high grass. Jack felt like a bird. The wind was rushing through his hair. The air smelled sweet and fresh. Jack whooped and laughed. He couldn't believe it. He was riding on the back of an ancient flying reptile. The pteranodon sailed over the stream and over the ferns and bushes. Then he carried Jack down to the base of an oak tree. When they came to a stop, Jack slid over creature's back and landed on the ground. The pteranodon took off again and glided into the sky. Bye, Henry! Bye, Henry! Called Jack. Jack, are you okay? And he shouted from the treehouse. Jack pushed his glasses into place. He kept staring at the pteranodon. Jack! Annie called. Jack looked up at Annie. He smiled. Thanks for saving my life, he said. That was really fun. Thank Harry. Not me, said Annie. Come on, climb up. Jack tried to stand. His legs were wobbly. He felt a bit dizzy. "Hurry!" shouted Annie. "It's coming!" Jack looked around. The Tyrannosaurus was heading straight toward him. Jack bolted the ladder. Thus he started climbing. "Hurry! Hurry!" screamed Annie. Jack reached the top and scrambled into the treehouse. "It's coming toward the tree!" Annie cried. The dinosaur slammed against the oak tree. The treehouse shook like a leaf in the wind. Jack and Annie tumbled into the books. "Make a wish to go home!" cried Annie. "We need the book, the Pennsylvania book," said Jack. "Where is it?" They both searched madly around the treehouse. "Found it," said Jack. He grabbed the book and flipped through the pages. He found the photograph of a forked words. Jack pointed to the picture in the book. "I wish we could go home," he shouted. The wind began to blow. Jack closed his eyes. He held on tightly to Annie. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still as alone. Chapter 10. Home Before Dark. Jack heard a bird singing. He opened his eyes. He was still pointing at the picture of a forked words. He peeked out the treehouse window. Outside, he saw the exact same view as the picture in the book. "We're home," whispered Annie. The woods were lit with a golden late afternoon light. The sun was about to set. No time had passed since they'd left Forked. "Jack! Annie!" a voice called from the distance. "That's Mom," said Annie. Jack saw their mother far away. She was standing in front of their house. She looked tiny. "Annie! Jack!" she called. Annie stuck her head out the window and shouted, "Coming! Coming!" Jack still felt dazed. He just stared at Annie. "What happened to us?" he said. "We took a trip in a magic treehouse," said Annie simply. "But it's the same time as when we left," said Jack. Annie shrugged. "How did it take us so far away?" said Jack. "And so long ago. You looked at the picture in the book and said you wished we could go there," said Annie. "And the magic treehouse took us there." "But how?" said Jack. "And who built this magic treehouse? Who put all these books here?" "A magic person, I guess," said Annie. "Oh, look," said Jack. "I almost forgot about this." Jack reached into his pocket and pulled out the gold medallion. "Someone lost this back there," he said, "in Dinosaur Land. Look, there's a letter M on it." Annie's eyes got round. "You think M stands for magic person?" she asked. "I don't know," said Jack. "I just know someone went to that place before us." "Jack! Annie!" their mom called again. "Coming!" Annie shouted again. Jack put the gold medallion back in his pocket. He pulled the dinosaur book out of his pack and put it back with all the other books. Then he and Annie took one last look around the treehouse. "Goodbye, house," whispered Annie. Jack slung his backpack over his shoulders. Annie started down the rope ladder. Jack followed. Seconds later, they hopped onto the ground and started walking out of the woods. "No one's going to believe our story," said Jack. "So let's not tell anyone," said Annie. "Dad won't believe it," said Jack. "He'll say it was a dream," said Annie. "Mom won't believe it," said Jack. "She'll say it was pretend." "My teacher won't believe it," said Jack. "She'll say you're nuts," said Annie. "We'd better not tell anyone," said Jack. "I already said that," said Annie. Jack sighed. I think I'm starting not to believe it myself, he said. They left the woods and started up the road toward their house. As they walked past all the houses on their street, the trip to Dinosaur Time did seem more and more like a dream. Olive's worked, and this time seemed real. Jack reached into his pocket. He clasped the gold medallion. He felt the engraving of a letter M. It made his fingers tingle. Jack laughed. Suddenly he felt very happy. He couldn't explain what had happened today, but he knew for sure that the trip in the magic jars had been real. Absolutely real. Tomorrow, Jack said suddenly, we'll go back to the woods. Of course, said Annie. And we'll climb up to the treehouse, said Jack. Of course, said Annie. And we'll see what happens next, said Jack. Of course, said Annie. Race you, and they took off together, running for home. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye-bye.